Hi guys, and welcome to Learn Extra Live. As you can see, the set's slightly different today. We are still doing Maths Lit, and we are still on with Hayley. But as you can see, I've got two guests. You're never going to guess who it is, guys. It's Karshifa and Anissa. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi. You see that they're a little bit afraid and scared. Guys, there's nothing to be scared of. You guys all know about these two. They are always on the Facebook page, and that's facebook.com/learnextra. They're chatting to us, and they help all of you out on the page. I know I help you out on the page during the live shows, but these are the two that sit at home and help all the other learners on the page. So guys, welcome to Learn Extra Live, and today is going to be an awesome lesson. Quickly, what school do you guys go to?
We from Harry Smith High School in the Free State Province, and we currently doing matric.
Okay, so you guys are going to be helping out today with a little bit of Maths Lit. Okay. So I think without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Hayley. And if you do want to chat to us on Facebook or Twitter, please do so. Today, you're not just chatting to me or to Hayley, you're also chatting to Anissa and Karshifa. So if there's any questions you want to ask them about what it feels like being live on air, we will try and write back to silently, because we don't want to get in the way of Hayley's lesson. I think without further ado, Hayley, take it away.
Thanks, Indy. Thanks, girls. Welcome to the show. I know that the girls are excited to be here and very nervous, and they're a bit worried about the grade 10 Maths Lit. And I said to them they're going to have to help me out today, and they say this is definitely not their favorite section. Okay, so today we're going to be dealing with measurements. And I am going to ask them to help, and I'm going to try not put them on the spot, but I know that a lot of you out there, measurements is not your favorite, so we're going to take it slow and like one step at a time. Guys, before we carry on, we want to discuss our numbers, because last week, let me find a nice bright color pen. Last week we were on 9,546. And I'm very happy to say that this week we are on 10,087. Yay,
yes.
go Facebook.
Yes.
What I am upset about, let's put that number in. So today, oh, I lost the pen. Today, nice and bright. We've got 10,087, and let's put it into bright lights. What I'm upset about is that it didn't happen on my show, but I believe yesterday was like quite exciting. Can you believe it?
It was so exciting, Hayley, and you have no idea. These two girls, I mean, you told me you went onto stage. What was the story? How did you get people to vote and to like the page?
We went online, Facebook. We told our friends about it, and yes.
Oh, so thank you. And I know also Sedimo and Noxopedia, you guys are also, you guys helped so much. And I'm sorry it didn't happen during your show, Hayley.
But it's so nice to know that there's actually over 10,000 kids
and
out
87.
there that we are helping. Well, I said over 10,000.
Hey.
10,087, hopefully more by the end of the show, that are out there. So guys, you can also go and advertise it like these two young ladies did and get us more people, because that's what we want to do. We want to help all of you out there. So should we start off with today's show? Right. Last week we did perimeter and area. Today we're going to take it to a little bit higher level, and we're going to do surface area and volume. So I'm going to start off by showing you some shapes and the formulas. And remember, guys, they give you the formulas for every calculation that you need. So you really don't have to stress that you can't do it, because at the end of the day, if you've got the formula and all you do is you substitute in the numbers, then you should be fine to actually do the calculation, because it's just a matter of like putting it into your calculator. So like I said, with the section, I want you to stop saying I hate it like most of the kids that I teach say, and rather let's say I can conquer it, I can do this, and take it one step at a time and one little question at a time. Right, so let's look at our box. We first of all have got a rectangular prism. A rectangular prism is just a rectangle which has got three different sides, and it is in 3 dimensions. So what are we dealing with here? We're dealing firstly with 3 dimensions. First thing though is the surface area. Now the surface area of a box or your 3D shape is all the outside shapes. So there are 6 shapes to this surface area. There are 6 rectangles, and in fact my picture I can only see 3 at the moment. I can see this front, I can see the side, and I can see the top. So, why can I only see 3 shapes? Well, in fact, my front and my back are the exact same shape. My top and my bottom are the same shape, and my 2 sides are the same shape. So far, how are we doing, girls? Are we following this?
Yes.
Our formula is then 2. Why 2? Because we've got 2 exactly the same. And then I just want the area of each one of those shapes. So let's look at the front. The front, the area is length times the height. And the side here is the base, and this is the height. So that will be base times height. And the top will be length times, sorry, not base, breadth. Length times breadth. So what does my formula say? It is 2 times the length times breadth, plus the length times height, plus the breadth times height. And that's all it is. It's fairly simple. When you get a question, which we're going to do in a couple of moments, I want you to fill in those numbers onto the diagram that they give you. And if they don't give you a diagram, then draw a diagram, because it just makes it a little bit easier to fill in the numbers. Volume is 3-dimensional, and now we're looking at the capacity, the space that this box can hold. Oh, I'm using my hands a lot today. Length times breadth times height. So let's, before we go to the question, one more thing to note. The surface area is an area, so although we're dealing with a 3D shape, it is a 2D answer. So your answer will basically be in millimeters squared or centimeters squared, you know, your units, or meters squared even. Your volume, on the other hand, is definitely 3-dimensional. It is the capacity inside, and that will be in millimeters cubed or centimeters cubed. Okay, meters cubed even. Right, let's do an example. Girls, are we ready to do this example?
Terrified. Let's go.
They're terrified. Who's more terrified, Indy,
I
the
think
girls
I
or you?
am. I think I am.
I think maybe Indy.
They're still fresh. They're still fresh.
Okay. We're going to calculate the surface area. Let's just fix up our spelling. The surface area of a rectangular prism that has a length of 4 meters. Oh, let's change colors. Okay, so yellow. A length of 4 meters, and then delete that. A breadth of 2 meters and a height of 3 meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add those numbers to the diagram. So let's go back to my diagram. Where my L is, I've now got 4 meters. My breadth of 2 meters and my height of 3 meters. And that way it makes it so much easier for you to actually follow the sum, because now we're going to write out the formula. And this is another thing that I want you to get into the habit. And I know that my kids are so lazy when it comes to that. They think they can just substitute straight into the answer. But if you work more with a little bit more logic, then it actually helps. So write out the formula first. So we're looking for the surface area. So what is the surface area? We're going to write out our formula. So the surface area is 2 times the length times breadth plus the length times height plus the breadth times height. And close our bracket. That's the formula that they gave us. And all we need to do now is substitute. So girls, are you ready to substitute here?
Yep.
I just heard a little peep go, substitute.
We're going to substitute. Who was that from? Anissa?
Yes.
Okay, so Anissa, let's try substituting. Right, what is our length?
4 meters.
4 meters.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put the number 4 rather than saying 4m. And why am I leaving out the unit? Because sometimes it confuses. So leave out the units for now, and when you come to the last part of the question, when you finally got your answer, then we'll put in the units. Don't forget those units. So we got 4. Times, what was our breadth?
2.
2. Plus,
4 again.
length is 4 again, times the height,
3.
3. Is that what you said? Because I'm so very soft there. Plus the breadth,
Nervousness.
2 again.
2 times
3.
3. Okay, and we close our bracket. And now the one thing that we need to remember when we're writing out this formula is just to ensure that your multiplication and your pluses are in the correct place. Kind of like just practice, and practice will, get better. So it's so easy to say plus and actually write times, or vice versa. Now, I don't think we need a calculator for that. So let's do our bracket first. Whoops. And get a 2 there. Right. 4 times 2?
8.
8. Plus 4 times 3? 12. Plus 2
6.
times 3, 6. I like having the girls here. Indy
I
is
know
really
they're,
nice.
they're so much better than I am. Okay? They're going to take my job away
They're
from
going to
me.
take that. It's really nice having the girls. Okay, now we can add up in the middle.
26.
26. See, they're way even faster than I am. Okay, 2 times 26,
52.
52. And this is the point where we mustn't forget our unit. Now, we were dealing in meters, and it's an area, so we need to have it squared. And that is our answer. So it's fairly simple. Okay, let's go see if we can do the next question. If we can get to the next question.
There you go.
Aha, we got the next question. I'm going to go with the rectangles got the same dimensions because I think we forgot to put the dimensions in here. So what was our length? Let's just add these. Let's change color. Why don't we go? I don't know what happened to my pink. I really like the pink. Okay, length was 4 meters. The breadth, girls, was 2 meters. And our height was 3 meters. Okay, we're now looking for the volume of this rectangular prism. So again, we're going to write out the formula. So the formula for volume is equal to, and the formula was quite easy. It was the length times the breadth times the height. Once we got the formula, and we've added our numbers to the diagram, so it's easy for us to see which is which. So now let's find a little bit more space. Up a little bit so we can see our numbers. Right, volume, what was our length again? 4 times our breadth was 2 times our height was 3. And again, I've left out the meters. I know it confuses the kids that I teach, so it might confuse you, but you're welcome to put it in. It's not wrong if you say 4 meters times 2 meters times 3 meters. That is probably a little bit more correct than mine, but as long as we got the units in the answer. So 4 times 2 times 3, do we need a calculator?
Nope.
Girls, we don't. And we got an answer of?
24.
24. And we're dealing with volume, so it's meters cubed. So there you go. Don't forget your units in your answer. And guys, you've got a calculator. So if you want to use the calculator to do this, by all means, do that. Just remember, if you're using the 4-function calculator, not the scientific calculator, that you must use the BODMAS rules. Remember, those are the rules we did right in the beginning. Indy, I think you were still with me when we did
Yes, I remember
that lesson. So remember, you've got to multiply first. So when you're doing the surface area especially, it's important you multiply first. So keep pressing your equal sum. And like I say, if you carry on practicing with your calculators, then you'll know exactly how your calculator works. Let's move on to the next shape. What is our next shape? Our next shape, okay, we've got surface of a triangular prism. So, on a triangular prism, and in this particular case, we can see a little bit more. We've got a triangle. I like to call it the Toblerone box. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that.
Oops.
Oops, sorry.
Carry on.
Okay, we've got 2 triangles, and we've basically got 3 rectangles. Because if I had to actually redraw this and open it up, what would I actually see? I would see a triangle, and then that's the base. I've got another triangle, and then I've got 2 sides, which, whoa, very badly drawn sides. 2 sides, which basically make up my box. So it is a 3-dimensional surface, a 3-dimensional shape, and we can work out the surface area and the volume. And we've been given the formulas. Now, the one thing I want to say when working out volume, in fact, I'm going to say that when I get to volume. Let's do the surface area first. So in our surface area, I've got 2 triangles. So I'm looking for my formula for my triangle is half times the base times the height. And remember, that height has to be the perpendicular. Oh, I don't even know if I've spelled that correctly. Perpendicular height. What does that mean? Your base is the one side, and you can choose any side of a triangle because I can literally turn it on its side. But if the base is the one side, then the perpendicular is the height that is 90 degrees to the base. So it's very important. Let's actually make a note of that somewhere. So the perpendicular height, we'll just write it like that, height is always at 90 degrees to the base. Okay, so we've got that is our triangle. And then we've got 2 triangles, so we times it by 2. plus we're going to have 3 rectangles. So it is the side 1 of the triangle times the height, and in this case we're talking about the height of the shape. Side 2 times the height, side 3 times the height. Now, this is another concept that sometimes you struggle with. The height does not mean how tall it necessarily is. The height in this case is you've got the triangle on the one side, and kind of the length between the 2 triangles is the height. So if you need to imagine it as going upwards, then kind of put it on one of the triangles. Does that make sense, girls?
Yeah.
I hope it does, because I know whenever I'm teaching and they say to me, but that's not the height, that's like the breadth or the length. But in this case, label your diagram and it won't be that hard. The volume, now I'm going to bring up this story about the volume. Whenever you're working out the volume, you need to find the shape that is the common side. And what I mean by common side is, if I take this shape and I cut it anywhere along the common side, I'm going to end up with a triangle. So if I cut it anywhere along here, I'm still going to end up with a triangular prism. So my common side is, in fact, this triangle. Whoops, can't color in very well. It is the triangle, so that's my common side. And then so I work out the area of the common side and I multiply it by the height of the shape, or what's in this case is the height, but it could be what you think of as the length or breadth or whatever it is. So it's always a common side. And we can have a common side of any shape. We can find the common side. So what are we looking for? The area of a triangle, so that's half base times, remember, perpendicular height, times the height of the prism. And in this case, we've used a capital H, just to make it a little bit easier. So we have our numbers. So let's fill in our numbers. Let's delete the coloring in. Right, in this case, we have a base of 6 meters. We've got a height of 4 meters. Now, this is our perpendicular height. Height of 4 meters. We've got side 2 is 5 meters. Side 3 is 5 meters. And our height of our shape is actually 3 meters. Once we've filled in all those values onto the shape, it makes it easier to actually do the calculation. So we're looking for the surface area of the triangular prism. So what's our surface area is equal to, remember we've got 2 triangles, and then it's half times the base times the height, plus side 1 times, that's 1 triangle, plus side 2 times the height, plus, I'm going to do it underneath here, side 3 times the height. And now we've got to substitute in. And girls, are you ready to substitute in? We've got our values here, so it might be a little bit easier. Let's see if I can extend that. Okay.
I hope I haven't been distracting them too much.
I hope not. Okay, so let's see, our surface area. Right, our 2 stays and our half stays. Right, our base of our shape was? 6. And our height, perpendicular height? 4. Right, and now we've got our side 1. Our side 1, we actually, is our base. If we go back to our diagram, where's our side 1? This is actually our base. I don't think that's going to come out very well. Let's just get a different color. Side 1 is, in fact, the base. So let's go back to our calculation, go back to yellow. So side 1 was our base. Now we need our numbers. There are our numbers. So that was 6 times our height. We found all of them was 3. Plus side 2 is 5 times 3. Are you with me, girls?
Yes.
Plus the last side was 5 times 3. And now we can actually just do these calculations. 2 and a half kind of cancel each other out. So we've got 6 times 4 is 24. I've lost the girls. They're not helping me at all. 6 times 3 is 18. Plus 5 times 15. Plus another 15. And now how good is your arithmetic in adding those quickly?
I think
I'm going
Anise
to
is
use
brilliant.
the calculator. Let's use the... Okay.
70?
60.
62.
But take a guess. Take a guess.
60?
Come on.
62. She says 72. I say 62.
I gotta go. 24 plus 18 plus 15 plus 15. And we get
No,
72.
72.
Ah,
Who
there you
said
go.
72?
We should have made a bet.
We should have.
Okay.
72. And what are we dealing with here? We're dealing with meters squared. Indy, I think it might be time to take a little bit of a break.
Yes, I think
What
it
do you
definitely is. Guys, let's take a little break. If you've just tuned in, Kashifa and Anisa are with us, top mind setters, which is fantastic. I also wanted to chat to you about Sidimo. Says that she got everyone from Paris High to vote and to like the page. So I want to know if you do go to Paris High, please just come onto the page, and even if it's just to say hello, I go to Paris High. Please do that. And also anyone from your guys' school, if any of you guys actually know Kashifa and Anisa, please pop into our page and say hi. We'll see you now after the break. Hi guys, and welcome back to Learn Extra Live. This is grade 10 Maths Lit. As you can see, we are playing musical chairs, and we have changed. Just in case you have joined in again, today's a very exciting show. Last night our page reached 10,000. Now it's over 10,000. So I just want to thank all the mindsetters out there. This is Kashifa and this is Anisa. And if you don't know them, I'm sure you've heard me say their names, even though they were wrong. Okay? Kashifa. So they are with me today in studio, and they're helping me and Hayley out with the live show. If you have any questions for them about what it's like being in the studio, you can please send those through as well. But don't forget, this is also about learning more and learning extra. So get all of those questions in that you're not understanding. If Hayley's going through anything and you need a bit of help, now you not only have one teacher and me to help, you now have all of us. We are all here to help with your questions. So without further ado, Hayley, let's carry on with the lesson.
Okay, thanks, Indy. Right, so we've just finished with our surface area of our shape, and we got an answer of 72, and don't forget the units of meters squared. Area always squared. Let's move on and see if we can work out the volume. Now, the volume in this case, always write out your formula first. I'm going to colour pen. Right, our volume is the area of my common side, which in this case was my triangle. And then we're going to times that by the height of the prism. So, girls, can we see those numbers? Let's find a little bit more space. Are we ready? Right, so we've got our volume is half times the base, 6 meters, times the height, that's the perpendicular height, 4 meters, times the height of the shape, 3 meters. Now, I'm going to use a calculator now. I'm going to ask the girls to calculate the answer, and they're going to give me the answer in a second before I get to the calculator. But what I want to point out to you, and I don't know why it happens, Indy, this is the most amazing concept. But when I give this formula to my classes, and it really doesn't matter to whether it's grade 10, and we do this again up to matric. When I say the formula is half times base, what they do is they say, well, okay, half of 6 is 3. Therefore, I must be 3 times 4 times 3.
Makes sense, right?
It does make sense. It is correct, and what they're doing is correct, but it kind of boggles my mind because we've got a calculator, and they all use their calculators. So I think that maybe it's just my school, but maybe they struggle to think, what is this half? So I'm going to show you on a calculator how we would actually do that calculation, if I can get the calculator up. Right, so first of all, if you're using a scientific calculator, well, you can use your fraction. But I'm not going to do that because we're really not supposed to be using the scientific calculator. So if I have to type in a half on my calculator, girls, can you guess how we'll do that?
0.5.
0.5. So there you got your half. And then we can say times 6 and times by 4 and times by 3. And then we're going to get an answer. So before I press equals, girls, have we worked it out?
21. No.
21 and 36.
21 and 36.
I'm in between.
36. 36. That's okay. I think I am putting them on the spot a little bit, making them
No,
a
it's
little
fine.
bit
They can do
nervous.
it. They can do it.
Right. So our answer is 36. And what are we dealing with? We're dealing with volume, and we were dealing in meters, so it is meters cubed. Hey, really important to put your unit. Remember, we've always got a reference. I've got to bring in Smarties. I still haven't done the Smarties. It's not 36
You
Smarties.
must please bring in the Smarties.
36 meters cubed. Right, let's move to our next shape. Struggling to move the board today.
The next.
Right.
There you go.
So, my next shape is the cylinder. So, my cylinder is made up of 2 circles and a rectangle. So, I'm going to draw the net for this, if I can. Let's see if does the red works quite nicely. I want to see my pig.
I
Okay.
don't know, where did that pretty pink go?
I don't know where that pretty pink went. Let's use the green. Green works well for me. Okay, so I've got a circle at the bottom, and I've got a circle at the top, well, bottom and top. Let me get this right. And in between, I have a rectangle. And these should touch. So let's see if we can move this. No, we'll just join it. Okay, so we've got 2 circles and a rectangle, if I actually had to open it up. My surface area is 2 times pi times the radius squared. Why have I got that? I'm looking for the area of my 2 circles. So my area for the circle is pi r squared, and that circle is pi r squared, and I've got 2 of them, so I add 2 times pi times radius squared. And then my rectangle. Now this is quite an interesting concept. I've got the height, which is one thing. This line going across here is the same line that must go round my circle. So what is it in fact? It is the circumference of the circle. And we know the formula for the circumference of the circle is 2 times pi times radius. You can see that's pi. So my area for this this rectangle is my length, which is 2 pi r, times my height of my shape. And there we can see it's 2 times pi times r times h, and the height of the shape. So it seems like a complicated formula, but if you break it down, it actually makes it a little bit easier. Now, what I want to point out while we're dealing with pi, please look. Okay, wait, we're going to come back to that. Please look at the question very, very carefully. Because when they give you this, they give you the formula, and then they often use this little thing, and it's usually in brackets, say, please use pi equals to 3,14. Now, why do they do that? So it's been a bit of a mystery to me, but I think I can answer that question. If I type in pi on my calculator, and I get an answer, I can see that it is on this calculator 3,14159, and it carries on. And in fact, pi carries on indefinitely. And they've just discovered like the 2 millionth number of decimal of pi.
Going on forever and ever and ever.
Carries on forever and ever. At our school, we had a very big celebration on Pi
On
Day,
Pi
which
Day.
is the 14th of March. We had a big celebration of Pi Day. But yet your exam says use 3,14, which is basically just a simplification of that. And I think it just makes it easier to mark. I think it makes it easier to have one standard amount. Having said that, I don't think your teachers will penalize you if you don't follow the instructions carefully. But it just makes it easier. I always say to the kids, if you've got the same answer as the teacher's memo, makes it a whole lot more pleasant to mark.
Yeah.
So it's easier in that respect. So if the instructions, just look out for that. Okay, let's go back to our question. So that is our surface area. Volume, on the other hand, our common side in this case, is our circle. So we're going to say the area of the circle, which is pi r squared, and times by the height. Okay, let's see if we can do the example.
Let's do it.
Let's do the example.
That's when you see us all get ready.
Are you
Okay,
ready to pay
yeah.
attention? Right. We now have a water tank. Let's look at our water tank. Right. Our water tank stands on a special platform which is 0.5 meters above the ground. So we've actually got a platform here of 0.5 meters.
And then Hayley, we have also put this onto the Facebook page, so if anyone does want to work along with us, they can. They can download it to their cell phone, they can share it with their friends, so they can work along with us.
That is great. That is good to know. I hope that some people are out there working through it.
Sure they are. Gotta love a challenge question, hey?
I love a challenge question. We don't have a challenge question to give them.
But this, they can challenge themselves
They can challenge
with this.
themselves with this, absolutely. The inner diameter of the water tank is 3 meters. So I'm going to change my drawing here because I've got an inner diameter. So is 3 meters. Whoops, what happened to my, this yellows? And now I'm going to go with the purple. I like the purple. Okay, so we're going to draw, my diameter is 3 meters. And it's measured 4 meters from the base to the top of the cover. So from the base to the top is 4 meters. Okay, so what I've done kind of instinctively and without telling you is I have added the values onto the diagram. And this makes it a whole lot easier for me to do the calculations. Now, my problem with this diameter is that my formulas that we had all talked about radius. And remember from last week when we were doing the circle, what is my diameter? It is twice the radius. So if you take my diameter and divide by 2, I'm going to add this here. So r is 3 divided by 2, or 1.5. So I've already done that calculation. It makes it easier if you do the calculation first. So always make sure that you've got your radius. Now let's see what the question says. Calculate the surface area of the water tank. What we're going to do is we're going to calculate the surface of like the inside of the water tank. Does that make sense, girls? Because your water tank has got some kind of thickness, whatever the water tank's made out of. And the values that we had was the inner diameter of the water tank. So let's work out the surface area of the inside. Now we need to think about this a little bit. Because it's a water tank, so we need our surface area. That's not going to work. Purple definitely not going to come out. So let's kind of redraw this diagram. We've got our radius, we said was 1,5, and our height, we said was, can't remember what we said our height was, 4 meters. And when I gave you the formula of the surface area, that gave you a top and a bottom. Girls, do we have a top to this tank?
No.
No, we don't. Indy's on the ball. We have to be collecting water.
So
we
maybe
actually
unless there's a trick question.
well, maybe there's a trick. At 1.5
no
meters, I don't think there's a
There's
lid.
no lid.
So this water tank doesn't have a lid. So we actually only have 2 parts. So if we had to draw this net, we would have still our rectangle, and we would only have one base, one circle. So when we do our surface area in this case, we're going to say our surface area is the one circle plus our rectangle, which is 2 pi r and my height. Hey, are you all with me? I hope that you're all following that. Now let's add our numbers. And in actual fact, I'm going to use 3,14. So we'll write this here. We'll say use pi equals to 3,14. So let's substitute. We've got 3,14 times my radius. What was my radius? That's what we calculated. 1,5 squared plus 2 times 3,14 times my radius again, which is 1,5, times my height of my shape was 4 meters. Let's get a little bit more space, and let's use our calculator. Girls, I don't think I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to calculate this.
Thank goodness.
Right.
Thanks, Hayley.
So let's do this calculation. Okay, 3,14 times by 1,5 squared plus, and always check your calculator as you're going along. Check that you're actually getting it right. Plus 2 times my pi times the radius times the height. You should have all the numbers now, and we get 44,745. What are we going to round to? We're going to round to 2 decimal places. So 44,75. 144,75. And what were we dealing with? Meters squared, because it's surface area. Let's go see if we can work out the volume. Right, I think the next one's our volume. Calculate the maximum volume of water that the tank can hold. Maximum volume. That means it's full to the very, very top. And okay, let's do the calculation. So, our formula, our volume is equal to pi times the radius squared, that's our area of our circle, times the height. So, let's get a little bit of space. We're going to use 3,14 again, times the radius, which was 1,5 squared, times the height of 4. Okay, let's use our calculator again. On the calculator. Right, so my pi times my radius squared times 4, and we get an answer of 28,26. So let's write that in. 28,26, and this is meters cubed. Now, it asks us for the maximum volume of the water tank. Now, I'm going to leave it as 2 decimal places, but I want to just talk to you a moment about this. If I had to do the same calculation with pi, where's my... Right, if I had to use my pi button, times by 1,5 squared, times 4. Let's just do the calculation again. I'm going to get 28,2743. So I want to write that number down. Okay, so it was 28,2743. Now, when I'm rounding in this case, we've got to be very careful. I cannot round up to 28,28, because what's going to happen? Water's going to actually flow over. So I need to be very careful when rounding and always round down, because the maximum amount of water that I can fill in is actually, well, either one of those amounts. But we can't round up, because there's not going to be enough space. Hey, I think that we've done the volume. We should maybe read the question. I know we don't have too much time before the break. Let's read the question that we have. Is there anything on Facebook that we can...
Nothing as of yet. So guys, if you do have any questions, please send them through to us. And also, this is your one and only opportunity to ask Anissa and Kashifa what it's like to be in studio.
It would be nice to actually hear from people and ask them how it's like.
Yeah.
Maybe next time they can be on here.
Exactly. Guys, I don't think this is going to be the first and only time. So, yeah, get chatting to us and you never know.
Indy, you know
could
what?
be
I think
next.
maybe we should take a break before we go to the question.
Let's
I think
do
we've
that.
done all the theory
Yeah.
behind it, and then we can tackle this question when we get back from break.
Okay, fantastic. So, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little break, give you a rest, but also give us a rest. Gives us a chance to go and chat about anything that you've put on the Facebook page, and keep those questions coming, guys. Don't forget facebook.com/LearnExtra. Also, chat to us on Twitter @LearnExtra. We'll see you now after the break. Hi guys, and welcome back to Learn Extra Live. We are still on grade 10. Grade 10s, where are you? The page is very quiet. We've got 2 guests that need to help me answer your questions. So please guys, get those questions in. If you have any questions for Haley, Kashifa, or Anissa, or me and Deanna, please post them on the page. So let's get straight back to the lesson. Haley, take it away. Question 4.
Question 4. I was actually hoping there would be some more activity on the page, because I've got a couple of the kids that are writing a test, kids that I teach are writing a test on something similar tomorrow. And I said to them, I'm going to be on live, so you better watch. And they said, no, they'll contact me.
Well, they're better
that
then.
didn't happen. Okay. So let's do question 4. Right. We've got a circular glass tabletop is cut from a square piece of glass. That is 136 centimeters. Oh, I don't have a pen. 136 centimeters by 136 centimeters, as shown in the picture below. So let's look at our picture. Right, we've got our picture, there's our glass, and we cut a circle out of it. The length of the radius of the circle is 68 centimeters. Right. A flexible aluminium strip is attached to the circular edge of the tabletop to form an edging. So we've got around the edge, which is like on the outside here. I don't know how to do it like that. We've got this aluminium strip, and you can kind of see the aluminium strip in the picture. So let's see what the questions say. What is the length of the diameter of the table? Okay, quite an interesting question. And this is what's really nice about this section, is that there are often very, very simple questions that lead you into the whole thing, and kind of easy marks, because this is really easy marks. Because I can calculate this in two ways. Girls, can you see two ways that we can calculate this? One, I can say, well, that 136 must be 136 through there. Oh, it hasn't drawn so very well. So clearly, my diameter must be 136. And I don't even have to do any calculations to just say it is 136. Okay? Alternatively, and don't forget your units. Alternatively, what have I got? My radius, I know, is twice my diameter. No, my diameter is twice my radius, and get that right. My diameter is equal to 2 radii. So my diameter is equal to 2 times 68. And guess what, guys? I end up with the same answer, 136 centimeters. And remember, your diameter or your radius is one-dimensional, so it's only meters. Okay? And there's easy 2 marks. Let's move on to the next part of the question. Right. Calculate the perimeter of the square piece of glass. Now, what is our perimeter? Our perimeter, remember, if we did this last week, is if we walk around the glass, walk around the shape. So we're basically going to add up all those sides, and if you really want to, you can say it's the length plus the length plus the length plus the length. Alternatively, we can write it as a little bit easier. Purple's definitely not going to work. So my perimeter in this case, it's a square, so all my sides are the same, so it is 4 times the length. You see, I've got my formula in. Always start with my formula. So I've got 4 times, and my length was 136. 136 centimeters. I can leave out the unit as well, just put the unit in the answer. Then use a calculator. We've got the calculators, why not? 4 times 136, and we get out 544 centimeters. 544 centimeters. Remember, it's one dimension. Double check that you've actually answered the question correctly. So it asks you for the perimeter of the square piece of glass. I've done that perfectly. Girls, are we following the question?
Yes. Well, Anissa is, but I'm actually getting Kashifa to write back to Sadimo. So I'm getting them to do different things at the same time.
Okay.
Carry on.
you carry on there. Okay. The next question says, calculate the area of the square piece of glass. And in this case, we've got our area. Again, we're going to write out our formula. So our area is length times breadth. But in this case, we've got a square, so it's actually length times length, and I can actually simplify it as length squared, but I can keep it as length times breadth and just put in the same numbers. So in either case, I end up with 136 times by 136, or we can basically say it's 136 squared. So either one of those will work. So we're looking for area of the square piece, and let's do 136 times 136. 18496. Okay, you need to remember the number. 18496.
I'll help you out there, don't worry.
Right. What is the answer?
Director,
18496.
And what are those? Those are now centimeters. And we're dealing with area. It is a 2-dimensional unit, a centimeters squared. Okay. So far, we've done 6 marks and nothing really hard about this. Let's move on to the next part of the question. Let's try that again. Now we want the area of the glass tabletop. So what are we, whoa, too much place. What are we looking for? We're looking for the area of this part. So I've got my formula again. So my area of my circle is pi r squared. And in this case, I'm going to substitute in. So let's use pi on the calculator. Pi times 68 squared. So let's use our calculator. And we've got our pi. No, that's not a pi. Okay, we got pi times 68 squared. And we get an answer of 14526. And I'm going to round this off to a whole number. Well, let's leave it as 72. 14526. Right. No, don't have a pen. 14526, comma 72. And remember our units again, centimeters squared. So, move on to the next part of our question. Calculate the area of the wasted glass. So, the wasted glass, let's first analyze that. What is our wasted glass? Our purple. And I'm writing on the white because then I can use the purple pen. The wasted glass is that, and that, and that, and finally that part. Okay, so it is the area of my entire square kind of minus the area of the tabletop, the circle, and that's going to be wasted. Now I've done these calculations already. I've worked out the two areas. Hope you're remembering that number still. Okay.
I know, I've forgotten it already, Hayley. I have to.
We're going to have to go back and check. But we're going to take the area of the square and we're going to minus the area of the circle. Now, before we start with the numbers, I want to make a point. So I'm going to first write what I'm going to do. So I'm going to say the area of the square minus the area of the circle. That's going to give me my wasted glass. Now, this is something that happens. It does happen. We hope that it doesn't, and we hope that you can answer every single question that you come across in a paper. But if you can't, and your question is based on something that we've done before, so if in this case we need the area of the square, which we calculated in the question before this, and then the area of the circle. But now, girls, what do you think we can do if we couldn't do those first two?
Trick question.
Trick question. That is a trick question. Because the problem is that most of the kids go, well, I couldn't do it, so therefore I can't do this either, even if I know what I need to do. So my answer to the kids that I teach, and my answer to you guys out there, because I'm now teaching all of you, all 10,000, hopefully more.
Yes.
Okay, so
More.
all of you out there, tell the teacher what you need to do, and then let's assume some random numbers. So let's say my area of my square was 100 centimeters squared, and the area of the circle was 80 centimeters squared. Just make up numbers, and you should actually get the marks because you are doing the correct things. Your method is perfect. So don't let the fact that you struggled in a part before affect as you go further. Does that make sense? So our area of our square, I can't remember what that was. So let's go back quickly and see if we can get these numbers. The area of the square, okay, now we're going to have to remember this. 18496. Oops, that wasn't it. Move forward twice. So it was 14896.
18496.
84.
18496.
496. I'm
Yes.
so glad I got the girls here today. Minus, and the area of my circle should be on my calculator. Is it on the calculator? 14526. 14526. And then I can actually do the calculation and get the answer. So I'm going to actually stop here. I know that you guys can do this on the calculator and you can get answers. I'm just going to recap quickly. When you get your calculations, when you get your formulas, when you get all these things, first label your diagram. Don't forget to label your diagram. Don't let this section throw you. You guys can do it one step at a time. Remember, excuse me. Remember, if you don't know the first part of a question, don't let it affect as you go forward because you can just assume an answer. And on that note, I'm going to say just practice, 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 because this will help. And I hope to see you next week. So I'm going to say goodbye to the girls and hand over to Indy, because I think my time's up.
Fantastic. Well, I think I've got a little bit of time to chat. Guys, thank you so much, grade 10s, for joining in. Haley, they have said they have been quiet on the page purely because they've been understanding.
Oh, well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
Steffi, it's good to know that everyone is understanding. But if there is anything that you're not understanding, guys, post it onto the page. We've got other mindsetters like these guys helping you out, as well as us, and also our help desk, which is 48-hour. That's www.facebook.com/learn extra. So get chatting to us. Grade 10s, you've been amazing. Grade 11s, I hope that you're tuning in and you're getting ready for your show. Ty will be on. So that's it for us, grade 10s. Hope you had an awesome show. I know I did, and I think we're going to have to get you guys back here, because I think Haley's been spoiled today with all of you guys answering.
Absolutely.
Okay, grade 10s. Hope you have a fantastic day. See you same time, same place next week. Bye.